Posuk says in Sefer Devarim, Perek Chav Ches, Posuk Mem Zayin, famous Posuk. Posuk says, Tachas asher le'avad tesavai lekecha b'simcha v'tuv le'vav, and meroiv kol, because you didn't serve Hashem with joy and simcha, while you had an abundance, therefore you'll be punished. And the pasuk goes on to list horrendous punishments and so on and so forth. So the simple, as we'll see soon, the Tzemach Tzedek actually makes this point in a mimer. I'll give you the source in a minute. But the simple reading of the pasuk is that the Yidden were punished because they didn't serve Hashem. And it happens to be that they were punished. It happens to be that, like, to add to that, they also were lacking in their simcha. And but the Rambam, actually, this is not some sort of Chassidish Torah. The Rambam, the end of Hilchas Lulav, Perek Tezvav Halacha Ches, the Rambam says clearly, and the commentaries in the Rambam, it's not based on a clear source. It's just that's the way he understands the pasuk. The pasuk says that no, the Yidden were serving Hashem, but the punishments came because they weren't serving Hashem with joy. That's what the Rambam says. Anyone that refrains from serving Hashem with joy, it's fit that he should be punished, as the pasuk says, and he quotes this pasuk. That's the Rambam. Now, the Alter Rebbe in Tanya, chapter in Perek Chavov, he discusses in those chapters the concept of serving Hashem, joy and depression and atzus and mejirus. So he quotes this pasuk, and he says that it's known to all noida lachol pirush Arizal in this pasuk, which the Arizal is quoted in a number of sources, but it's quoted the Shalah actually in his section on the Asora Mamoris. In some versions it's in page Mem Tes Amud Aleph. He seems to make the same point as the Rambam, and he says that the punishment's not because they weren't serving Hashem, and the simcha is a side point. No, the punishment was because they didn't serve Hashem with proper joy. The question, I guess, the question that I had was, why is the Alter Rebbe quote the Arizal if it's a clear Rambam? The Rambam came before the Arizal. And just to add in parentheses, the Shalah, when he quotes this concept, he talks about simcha over there, and he says that the Arizal acquired with his simcha the ruach hakodesh that the Arizal had came from his serving Hashem with simcha. He has that in while he's quoting this concept. And I guess the same question would be on the Shalah. Why does he quote the Arizal if it's a Rambam? So a careful reading of the Arizal, he makes a significant addition to what the Rambam says, and because of that, which takes the concept to an even to the next level beyond what the Rambam says. And the Rebbe talks this out. It's just a matter of a simple reading of the Arizal, because I'm not reading the Arizal every day, but the Rebbe actually, in a footnote on Shuri B'Sefer Tanya, Ray Weinberg's commentary on Tanya, so the Rebbe edited it, and he added in his footnotes with commentary. And the Rebbe explains that the Chiddush of the Arizal is clear. The Arizal says that the Yidden didn't serve Hashem Meiroiv Kol. Meiroiv Kol means from them having an abundance. And the way he understands that is that the Yidden didn't serve Hashem with joy, similar to the joy that they had from the fact that they had an abundance of their physical possessions. In other words, they did serve Hashem with joy, but their joy wasn't on the same level as the joy that they had from the abundance of possessions, and that was the reason for the punishment. I mean, just to put things in perspective, the Yidden were at such a high madrega, so maybe more was demanded from them, but the way he's understanding it, according to the Rambam, they had no joy, and that's why they were punished. The punishment was from the lack of joy, but they had no joy. That Arizal says, no, it could be they even had joy, but because their joy wasn't on the same level as the joy from Gashmias, that even then they were punished. And that brings out the importance and the necessity, and how urgent it is that a person should serve Hashem with joy. I'll just conclude with two last points. The Tzemach Tzedek in a Maimer in Hatorah in Parshas Ekev, page Tov Tzaddik Beis Amud Aleph, page 592. He says that the Alshich also understands this concept like the Arizal. And Tzemach Tzedek concludes that the Posuk Pshat is not like the Arizal, and it seems to also exclude the Rambam. And he says that the Posuk of the Posuk is the Yidden didn't serve Hashem, and it happened to be that the way to serve Hashem is with joy, but they didn't serve Hashem, and that's why they were punished. And they were punished because of the lack of joy. Tzemach Tzedek was about Nigla also. The Gemara, I'll conclude with the Gemara in Erchin, just to give a little bit of a taste of what this joy we're talking about is. Gemara in Erchin, Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, so quotes this Posuk and says, "From here is the source here's a source min Hatorah that the Leviim have to play music in the Beis Hamikdash." So when we say simcha, the Gemara seems to be taking it beyond just being happy in a spirit, but it's actually they want to connect it to the musical instruments. It's not just happiness; it's joy and it's dancing, and that's the extent that the Gemara expects the simcha and the joy in Hashem to be. So even though we're now in the weeks of Sfira, but we're coming towards Lag Baimer and hopefully towards Shavuos, and the growth of the days of Sfira also should be done with a simcha shel mitzvah, and with this simcha we should merit the coming of Mashiach now.